Gardez, depuis après l'avocat, nous voulons laisser nous brûler. Zami, frère, Sam, gardez, si vous faites accident, assurez-vous qu'on choisit un avocat qui a des années d'expérience. Un avocat qui a un bon résultat. Mais, pas comprendre que le résultat, l'autre monde joue, c'est le même résultat ou joue. Il pas comme ça. Eh bien, il y a les injuries dans le groupe, 866 945 47 68. Équipe ça, belle équipe ça, équipe injury dans le groupe là, il y a des années, depuis la veille des gens qui ont injury, gens qui fait accident, avec un pile d'assurance. Nous aidons les gens à faire des millions de dollars. Des millions de dollars, oui, clients nous fait. Nous avons plus que 35 ans d'expérience. Tendez ça, nous ne pouvons pas charger $1 si vous n'avez pas de caisse là. Relez-nous aujourd'hui pour consultation gratis. 866 945 47 68. Ou faire accident machine, ou frapper dans le travail, ou t'as le cas docteur ou bien l'hôpital, il va te faire travailler bien, il te fait mauvais pratique. Ou glisser, ou tomber, ou gros blessure, ou prendre une gros catastrophe. Ou que famille, amis, le docteur, il va le mauvais remède qui cause de mourir parce que tu as le mauvais soin. Il fait discrimination contre nous, nous aidons à tout problème ça. C'est juste relez-nous dans 866 945 47 68. Bon, dis pas tracasser tête tout, puisque nous parlons plusieurs langues. Nous parlons espagnol, nous parlons créole. Un jour, dans le groupe, office principal, nous dans Boca Raton, de Florida. Gardez, depuis après l'avocat, nous voulons laisser nous brûler.
Hey, Wab, how you doing today?
I am doing great. How are you? I'm doing great. How about yourself?
I'm good, Wab. I'm good.
Bonjour, bonsoir.
Bonsoir. Bonsoir. So, n'a salué tout le monde. Jeudi, nous là encore pour une autre fois, pour une autre émission Gabilo. So, Wab Nabdou, bienvenue. Welcome.
Thank you.
So, jeudi, on a commencé bien rapide là, on a commencé avec mon yo, on a dit mon yo pendant n'a parlé nous dans studio nous live là yo carré nous dans radio dans 561 576 1600 si yo gen question et si jamais yo t'a vle relé nous dans office là tout après émission yo carré nous dans 866 945 47 68 866 945 47 68. Et si vous voulez relé nous dans radio là, quelle que soit question mon yo ta gen, yo ka toujours relé nous dans 561 576 1600. Nous là et Wab ensemble avec nous là n'a répondre quelle que soit question mon yo gen. Hey Wab, how you doing?
I'm doing great. It's a pleasure to be here. And as you said, my name is Rob Trilling. I'm an attorney at Your Injury Law Group. And you can reach us if you have any questions regarding any accidents, injuries, insurance claims. Reach us at our office at 866 945 4768, 866 945 4768. And of course, we speak, as you know, we speak all different languages. We speak English, we speak Spanish, we speak Creole, and we now speak Portuguese as well. Yeah, not me personally, but people in my office do. So
and the call is free. We always tell the people that
exactly.
No pas payer $1 pour appel là, c'est gratis. So Rob, what's the some tip? Can you give us some tips you have for
I sure can. You know, it's interesting. Today? We were talking about particularly, you know, we get a lot of calls from people saying, you know, what can I do to help my claim?
Yes.
And there's a lot of things people can do. And you know, you've heard me say this before, but I'm going to say it again. The number one advice I would give people when dealing with their claims is to have an experienced attorney work with them so that they can handle the claim for you.
Oh, ça c'est
number one advice.
OK, conseil numéro 1 Rob dit le kabay mon yo c'est cherchons avocat qui gagne expérience qui peut take claim nan pour nous. So today Rob we're going to stay on the tips for our client because all of the time they keep calling me asking me what can they do if they get involved in any car accident or if just in case they want to know some stuff. When the accident happened, so how to react to the situation.
Exactly.
So that's why today I'm asking you that question. What some tips you can give the listeners to see?
Very important. I'm glad you asked. These are great questions. These are great areas to go into. The first thing is with an auto accident, very important to make sure, and we talked about this before here, make sure that whoever's in the car is listed on the police report. And the way to do that is to make sure that the police are aware of everybody in your vehicle and where they were in the vehicle. Very important.
Yeah, ça bagay qui vraiment important faire make sure tout le monde qui dans machine dans police la météo dans police report là.
And that's something you can do at the scene. It's something you can take control over. Make sure that the police officer is aware of that. Hey, by the way, this person, my brother, my sister, my friend, was in the car with me. They were sitting right here. Make sure that they're aware. Because so many times we see, you've seen it, I've seen it.
Yeah, a lot.
Police reports that are incomplete. They don't. I've seen reports where they have the wrong vehicles for the wrong car, wrong owners and so forth. So you want to make sure as much as you can that there's accuracy in the police report.
So what about exactly where everybody sit? You have to tell the cop exactly.
Exactly. If they're asking you who was in the car with you, say, well, so-and-so was sitting next to me in the front seat, and in the back seat was this person or that person, or whoever was sitting where. And yes, make sure that they're listed, because if they're not on the police report, insurance companies have a hard time believing that they were actually in the vehicle.
So what the best tip to read like a police report? So after the cop give them the police report, or the driver exchange, to see exactly if the cop put everything in order.
Well, the problem with the driver's exchange is it doesn't list everybody. It's not going to be on the driver's exchange. The driver's exchange is just that, a driver's exchange. So why don't you explain that to people so they understand?
Okay. But the first thing, when the cop give you the paperwork when the accident happened, can you explain a little bit what exactly the cop give them?
Sure.
Because sometimes people confuse the driver exchange with the police report.
Exactly. There's two different types. There's actually several different types of reports, but the two primary ones that we deal with are the driver's exchange of information, which is the form the police officer gives to the drivers at the scene. And the purpose of that is so that you as a driver know who was in the other car, who was involved in the accident with you, and who their insurance company is, and what the policy number is. You have enough information to report the claim to the adverse party's insurance company. You have, hey, by the way, your insured is so-and-so, your policy number was this, the date of accident was this, here's where it happened. You have enough information to report the claim to the insurance company. That's the purpose of that report.
That's the driver exchange.
That's the driver's exchange.
So, okay, let me elaborate a little bit on that. So, the premier papier where police la bay moun nan li le driver exchange. So, yo changé information moun ki entoura avec tout de moun ki nan accident yo changé information yo. Ou konnen ki assurance l'autre moun nan gen, l'autre moun nan konnen ki assurance ou gen, ki kote nou rete, adresse nou. And so, but c'est li police là-bas nous avant. So basically, the police report is not there yet.
Correct. Police report is usually done later by the officer, and then they do what's called a full report. It's oftentimes either called a short form report or even a long form report, depending upon the type of report they're doing. But either way, it has all the information. Now it's going to have, that report's going to have everybody involved. It's going to have the owner of the vehicle. It's going to have the driver of the vehicles. It's going to have the passengers in the vehicles. And it's going to list the witnesses, and it's going to list the citations, if any were issued, traffic citations or traffic tickets that were issued, if any. Everything is going to be listed. There's going to be a narrative explaining what the officer was told and what the officer concluded as far as who's at fault and how it happened. And then oftentimes it has a diagram. Not always, but oftentimes it has a little diagram that will show where the vehicles were on the road, what the roads looked like, and so forth.
Oh, so après ça, police report la pral lever, police pral faire report la après qui pral di ki combien moun ki ten dans machine nan, comme accident fait définit. Majorité police report yo tout gon gens yo tracé comme accident t'es fait tout t'es passé, yo font un dessin pour expliquer comment accident t'est passé. So basically, how long did it took for the report to be ready?
Sometimes it's very quick. It can be a day or two, and sometimes it can take longer. It's supposed to be done within 10 days from the date of accident. Okay. Not always is it done that way, but it's supposed to be. And there's actually a place for people like me to go online. Statewide, I can find any police report if I have enough information about the accident, and as long as the report is ready.
But I got a couple questions. People always ask me sometimes, do they have to wait for the police report before they can talk to you, or?
Oh, no. In fact, here's what I recommend. One of the things that everybody kind of realizes is that when you've been in an accident, you want to report the claim as quickly as possible to your own insurance company and get a claim started with the other party's insurance company. Okay. But to do that, I highly recommend you do that. Don't do that alone. Have an attorney before you report the claim. So the best thing you can do is have an attorney right away.
Ça veut dire nous pas besoin moun yo, nous pas besoin temps pour nous prendre police report là immédiatement ça passer là puis bon pour nous si nous prend avocat plus vite que possible parce que plus souvent avocat qui a expérience beaucoup qui peut aider faire genre de bail so les plus bon pour so basically what even before they talk to the insurance company they
I suggest they talk to, and listen, if you've already spoken to the insurance company and then you call the attorney, okay. But you're better off if you call the attorney first. And I'm going to explain a couple of reasons why I'm going to explain that.
Mais si vous parlez avec assurance là déjà, ça pas un problème. Mais les plus bon pour si vous parlez avec avocat avant parler avec assurance là. So, M. Walban, exemple.
One of the things that I always tell people is this. There's a difference between insurance companies as to who you have an obligation to cooperate with and who you don't. You have an obligation to cooperate with your own insurance company. There's no obligation to cooperate with the adverse party's insurance company. It doesn't mean you want to avoid them. But either way, a couple of things happen when you first report the claim. One of the things that happens is they ask for what's called a recorded statement. Tell us what happened, okay? My suggestion is the less times that you're on the record explaining things, the better off you are at the end of the claim. So it's not a matter of avoiding anything. It's just a matter of avoiding any potential problems later on. Have the attorney make the call. Whatever the attorney says is not your statement. It's him or her relating to the insurance company what they understand. And that's enough to get the claim started. Why is it necessary for you to give a recorded statement to start the claim? It's not.
Even with their own insurance.
Exactly. So my feeling is you have an obligation to cooperate. And if they ask for a recorded statement, of course, your own insurance company, we're going to cooperate with them and advise you as far as what you're required to do in cooperating with them and what information you're required to give and what information you're not. Those are things that we can talk about. And those are things we can do to protect somebody. But if you've already given a statement, you've already given the statement, you've already done something that I would not necessarily have recommended most of the time to do. Okay. So always, you want to do what's in your best interest. And that's what the attorney is here for. An experienced attorney can guide you on what's in your best interest with respect to a claim. And that's what we do.
Yeah, because today you always tell the people that make sure you have somebody with experience guide you in that situation.
Right.
So, well, what if they give some of the people they don't know sometimes? So they go ahead and talk to the other party insurance.
Right.
So what happened if they give any recorded statement?
Well, what we can do things to, like, for example, I'm entitled to a copy of it. We always request it, and they give it to us. It's not a matter of that you're going to kill your case or do something really harmful to your case. But what it does is it gives every time you give a statement of some kind, it's another opportunity for there to be even the smallest of inconsistencies. And any inconsistency is one of the things that everyone likes to exploit. If the other party gives an inconsistency, that's something you want to be able to know about as an attorney, as an adjuster. They're going to use that against you, or at least try to. My job is to minimize that. Okay. And we're very successful at that. We're very successful usually at making sure that whatever really happened is what's being presented, not some convoluted facts based upon some misunderstanding, especially if somebody doesn't speak the language.
Yep.
Or if English is a second language to them. Even more so, I highly encourage you to have an attorney or to make sure that there's a translator every time you're talking to the insurance company. You might want to translate this.
Ça vraiment important. Lorsqu'on parle l'autre langue, anglais c'est pas la langue pas ou. Vraiment important soit parler avec une assurance compagnie pour ta un avocat bokoto ou bien soit pas un avocat pour ta chercher un monde qui pour ta traduire pour parce que mon yo ça a fait a chercher poser question pour yo capier jour après ça pour yo ka utiliser le compte ou y a chercher côté ou dire un mot là l'autre là on vient poser l'autre question ou vient dire l'autre mot c'est ça mon yo a chercher pour exploiter dans ou même c'est ça fait et ou toujours recommander pour mon yo chercher un avocat qui a expérience avant yo commencer parler avec assurance compagnie pour make sure avocat aider yo dire ça pour parler ou bien avocat parler pour yo n'a dit mon yo si gen mon capitaine de radio là qui une question yo ka toujours les nous dans 561 576 1600 ça c'est le numéro radio numéro c'est 561 576 1600 encore si choix ta fini quel que soit mon ta vle relé soit ou bien demain si tu viens dans office là numéro c'est 866 945 47 68. N'a dit mon yo encore numéro téléphone pour ça. C'est 866 945 47 68. Quelle que soit la question mon yo gen, pas hésiter relé. Et même là nous pas une question ou bien nous pas involve dans accident qu'on y a, nous ka toujours qu'un numéro ça si nous tomber nous glisser dans l'autre côté nous glisser tomber slip and fall workers camp nous take care tout bagage ça dans office là. Yes, what's the next step now?
One of the next things is that when you're dealing with the insurance company, I want to stick on that for a minute. Because when you're dealing with the insurance company, something very interesting has been happening. I even saw it today where I called up an insurance company to report a claim for a client, and they assign it to an adjuster. Then they have me speak to the adjuster. And when they find out that I'm an attorney, they're going to send it to someone else. Why? Because that first adjuster's job was to try to settle the case short. Get the person to say, hey, as an example, they might say, hey, I got some money for you.
Yeah.
All you have to do is sign some paperwork and you get some money. And then you sign the paperwork and there goes your claim.
Yeah.
We've seen a client resolve a claim that was worth a decent amount of money, a lot more than what they settled for. And they settled it for $300 or $400. And it was worth thousands and thousands more.
Yeah.
But once they settled it, there's nothing we can do.
Okay.
And most of the time. Sometimes we can, but most of the time there's not. So it's really important to understand that when you're dealing with insurance companies, it's not just, hey, your claim or this claim. There's tricks that can be used to try to minimize how much they pay. Some insurance companies, not all, but some will do that. They will try to settle the case short right away and offer you money. You might want to translate that.
Yeah, ça passe des fois. Donc aujourd'hui là avocat gon cas qui représente des gon client, les clients relé au ballon adjusté, but laisser l'elvin relé. So you vin find out c'est avocat lié you buy on l'autre adjusté qu'est-ce là va c'est ça ou d'après le faire avec premier adjusté ou d'après essayer pour si premier adjusté a dit mon me compte comme pour là oui m'a voyer des trois papiers pas pour signer la fini mon n'a vendre que ça. So dès que you son avocat qui relé a yo changer adjusté parce que yo pas fait mon ça encore. So Rob, the question is what if they don't speak English and they don't know what they're signing?
Well, that's just it. If anybody is asking you to sign papers, especially sight unseen, or if you can't understand them, you always have the right to have those papers looked at by an attorney. And the job of an attorney, people don't necessarily understand. A lot of people think the attorney's just in it for themselves. That's not necessarily the case. Some attorneys are. But I can tell you what we do at our office is somebody says, hey, I was offered money. Would you mind telling me whether this is a good deal or not? I will give them an honest appraisal of whether I think it's a good idea for them to settle for that money or not.
We do that every day.
We do it all the time. Yeah. Right, exactly. So, and I tell people this because not everybody realizes that this is true. I may, and I have said to people, you know what? You're better off taking the money and not hiring us.
Yeah.
Because I'm not going to be able to do that much more for you given what you explained to me and what the limits are, this, that, or whatever the situation is. That happens on occasion. Yeah. More often than not, the advice is, you know what? You're being sold a bill of goods. Let me explain to you why. And I'm going to explain to you what your rights are and what you're giving up and what you're accepting so that you can make an informed decision. Just as if I had gotten the offer myself and I was presenting it to you, I would present it saying, hey, listen, here's the offer. Here's what it means to you in your pocket as best I can tell. And this is what your options are. And then you can make an informed decision.
Yeah. Ça arrive souvent dans l'office, nous kon gen moun ki rele nou ke assurance la offri on kob le nou gade nan ka moun nan ya si nou e kob la bon spécialement si ou boy kob la bon pour lui s'il prend kob la bon pour poche li toujours si gérer moun nan pour le prend kob la mais s'il ouais son qu'est-ce qui vaut en pile kob tout moun nan ka fait plus kob li toujours dit moun nan non li expliquer moun nan ba la bien pour moun nan ka pour bon décision façon pour le ka ouais est-ce que ça assurance et pas le vendre moun nan bagay pour faire pas prendre dans mes assurance c'est pas ça le dit but lui expliquer mon nan mettre le chita c'est le bon pour lui il dit OK ou ka faire ça c'est pas bon pour tout mais qui sont ka faire mais combien ou même lui penser que ça bon c'est ça fait n'a dit mon yo quelle que soit question yo gain relé nous nan 866 945 47 68 ou bien yo ka relé directement dans radio 561 576 1600. What next? Rob, you giving all your some good tips right now, man. That's really good because most of the people they don't know what to do when they get involved in a car accident, and most of the people in our community they think when they talk to a lawyer they have to pay them.
Right.
So
That's an important point.
Yeah, that's
a
very
really important point.
Yeah.
When you call us at our office, the call is free. And I always tell people, call us at our office, 866 945 4768, 866-945-4768. Give us a call. The call is free. And as I always say, the advice may be priceless.
Yeah, nous toujours dit mon yo ça, mon yo toujours pensé les avant yo parler avec un avocat faut yo payer. Consultation c'est gratis li, yo pas payer $1 pour ça. Même les web t'a fait une étape par avant, il fait 30 minutes là par avant, ou pas payer $1 pour ça. Relez nous dans même l'autre a un problème immigration tout, ça pas un problème, n'a pas ensemble avant. Relez nous dans 866 945 47 68, appel la free. Pas payer $1 pour lui et au carré les nous n'importe les samedi dimanche nous office là nous même les nous pas ouvert but depuis qu'on appelle sur téléphone nous avons jeune monde retourne nous appelle là. You know, yeah, on Saturday there's a one of our client called me and say she's so happy because she called you on Saturday. She didn't expect you to pick up the phone on Saturday.
Right. I remember the call. It was actually this past weekend. Yes.
Yeah. That was so nice.
You know, when I'm available, I answer the call.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say I'm available 24/7, but I will always return the call.
Yeah.
And in fact, what's really interesting is one of the hallmarks of our office is I don't have anyone screening my calls.
Yeah.
If I'm on the phone with somebody else, and even sometimes when I am, I'll take the call. I'll put them on hold and say, listen, I'll take the call. And if I'm on the phone with somebody, I'll say, hey, listen, I'm on the phone. I'm going to give you a call back. But we always make it a point. I can't answer every call, but I make it a point that we respond to every call.
To every call.
And if I think, we were talking about what we were going to be talking about tonight. One of the things that I wanted to talk about in part was what you can expect from your attorney, because these are tips, and this is really important.
Yeah.
I think one of the things you can expect from your attorney is responsiveness and communication. I think you have the right as the client. You're the client. And you have the right to talk to your attorney. So many times we hear from people that say, I've had my case with this person for so long, and I've never heard from them.
Yeah.
And there's reasons sometimes when we don't have a lot of communication because there's not much going on. We're waiting for someone to finish treatment. We're waiting for this, waiting for that, whatever it might be. But if you have a question, call your attorney, and you're entitled to find out what's going on with your case. And you should know what's going on with your case.
But
it's your case.
Most of the people, they complain, they said, well, they always talk to the assistant, not the attorney.
Well, sometimes, listen, I'm going to tell you, assistants oftentimes know more than the attorneys do because they're watching what's going on, and they're bringing to the attorney the attention sometimes of what needs to be addressed. So that's not necessarily a bad thing. But if you want to speak to the attorney, you should be able to speak to the attorney, in my opinion. And in our office, that's how it works.
Yep.
If you want to speak to the attorney that's handling your case, you have the right to talk to the attorney that's handling your case.
Yeah, that's true. And people always so happy about that, especially when they talk to you, because sometimes they keep telling me, what gonna be able to talk to me today? I say, yeah, he's gonna call you. Yeah. So basically, after when the police report give you the report.
Right.
So the first thing they give you is the
driver's exchange, correct.
After that, but the thing is, if they don't have an attorney, how are they gonna be able to get the police report?
Well, you can get the police report from the police department itself. If it's the Palm Beach County Sheriff's, for example, you can call, and there's ways to get it online. There's ways to also get it from a statewide reserve. I don't know, it's not a reserve. It's a statewide depository for all of the police reports throughout the state, crash reports throughout the state, and that's available. They do it for a fee. If you do it through the police department itself, there's either no fee or a very small fee. It's not a big fee with the state, but it is a fee. You pay $10 plus $2 for handling. So
but they don't have to wait for that. They can call you, and then you go online.
Yeah, and we take responsibility for it.
Yeah.
And that's one of the other things that happens in our office. This is a great tip, and that is when it comes to costs, we advance for the cases that we take. We advance the costs, and most of the time, not always, but the vast majority of the times, we don't have to charge the clients the cost, even if we lose, even if there's no case there. We absorb the cost most of the time, not always, but most, and we work that out with you in advance, so you understand what's going to happen.
C'est vraiment important dans l'office là. Là nous pour que c'est office là qui avance qui paye en avant. So même là nous pas d'argent rien pour mon nan, devine pas d'argent rien pour mon nan pas payer nous rien. Majorité là c'est nous qui avance comme nous. pour client et si client pas ta fait comme tout client va donner nous $1. That's very, very important.
You know, when I was setting up this law firm, I mean, I've been practicing law for, as you can tell by the color of my hair, I've been practicing law for a long time, over 35 years, actually 38 years now. And one of the things that I've decided to do when I set up this law firm was to make this law firm all about you, the client. Not about me, the attorney, or the rest of my staff or attorneys that are in my office. It's about the client. We want this to be your injury law group. We want we work for you, and we want it to be as consumer friendly as possible. We want you, the client, to have full understanding of what's happening with your case, full understanding of any offers that are made, full understanding of what they mean to you in your pocket, full understanding of if we get money for you, this is how it's going to be dispersed, and this is why, so that you can approve every step of the way, and you know what your options are, and you're the one who decides whether you're going to take or reject any particular offer or whatever the situation might be.
Yeah, people always telling me that this is the first time they be able to talk to an attorney on the phone whenever they want.
Right.
So what the last tip you have for us, Bob?
The last tip, well, there's a lot of other tips, but I think one of the, may I take a look real quick? I think I had one in particular I wanted to speak about. You know, talking about what to expect from your attorney, and I think this is really important, it has to do with the financial information.
Yep.
If there is an offer on your case, so many times I've heard people tell me that the attorney told me I have to take the offer. And that is never the case.
Yep.
Number one, you're the client. You get to decide.
Yep.
My feeling is the attorney is there to guide you, not to do it for you, but to guide you. And that's my job. My job is to tell you what the offer is, to tell you what it means to you as best I can in your pocket after we take care of the medical expenses and everything else, and then to tell you what your options are and explain it to you, so that you can say, well, if I do this, I get that, and this is what happens. If I do that, this is what happens. Oh, this is what I want to do. And you can make an informed decision based on the realities of your case.
Okay. So ça vraiment important parce que avocat là c'est pour la travail. So majorité là mon yo qu'on a dit avocat pas gen droit pour l'abdou c'est pour si au fond comme for brani. Sometimes people say the case is settled, they don't even know.
Yeah, I've heard that. I've heard that, and we've got situations with other attorneys where that's happened.
The case is settled.
Like people have called me and say, I don't know what's happening with my case. I call the attorney and said, oh, we settled it.
Yeah, they don't even know.
And they don't necessarily know. And listen, there are guidelines, there are rules. The Florida Bar is what regulates the Florida attorneys, and the Florida Bar has rules as to what the attorneys are required to do. I would love to tell you every attorney follows the rules. Sometimes some attorneys don't. Most attorneys do.
Yeah.
Most attorneys do what I do in terms of giving these type of statements and giving this type of information. So, you know, I've always felt like practicing law is an honor and an honorable profession. Yeah. It's something that I'm very proud of that I do for people. It's something I do for people. If you don't, my feeling is if an attorney doesn't feel that way, then they're probably not doing the job they should be doing, in my opinion.
Yeah. So. Quelle que soit question émission qu'on a pas parler pour toute journée là si nous capable parce que Gabelo a fait nous signe là si nous capable nous prêter pour toute soirée là so n'a dit mon yo si au dernière question yo carrelé nous dans 866 945 47 68 appel la free ou pas payer $1 pour lui et au carrelé nous dans n'importe là si nous pas prendre appel là on va joindre monde qui tourne nous appel là ou pas besoin parler créole nous avons un website qui c'est avocatpaula.com monde qui parle créole yo carrel sur lui. You have joined toute information en créole. What the last word? Can you give the phone number and everything?
Exactly. Our phone number is 866 945 47 68. Give us a call. The call is free. The advice may be priceless. So give us a call. You have a question about your case, about your injuries, about your claims, give us a call. We're happy to answer.
N'a dit tout le monde merci. N'a pas appel yo quelle que soit question nous gain relé nous dans 866 945 47 68. N'a pour l'autre semaine. Bye bye.
Bye bye. Thank you, Gabela. Thank you.